Over 1 million visitors are projected to visit the NC State Fair this year, and most will be doing it all wrong. But not you guys, as this video will cover insider tips from my experiences over the last 30 plus years that I've been going that will help you beat the crowds and maximize your experience. I will start with providing need-to-know information on how to get there, parking, how to get in, and review the layout of the fair this year. But if you're just interested in the tips, go ahead and skip to that section in the video. The NC State Fair will be held from October 16th through the 26th this year, a Thursday through Sunday. The hours are on the screen here, essentially running from 9 a.m. to 11 or 11:30 p.m. based on the night. But note that no one will be allowed to enter after 9:45 p.m., which is also when the nightly fireworks occur. Also note that many of the exhibit halls and redemption booths close earlier. As a good rule of thumb is after the fireworks, it's really just the food and rides running. Special days this year are Wolfpack Day, where NC State students can show their student ID for $8 admission on Thursday, October 16th. Sensory Day that has experiences catered to those who are sensitive to loud noises on Sunday, October 19th. Senior Citizens Day on Tuesday, October 21st. Military Appreciation Day on Wednesday, October 22nd. That allows for free admission for service members and veterans along with one guest. Thursday, October 23rd is Hunger Relief Day, where you can bring 6 food cans for free admission to support the hunger drive. First off, getting to the fair is probably the most stressful aspect. For starters, it's located at the NC State Fairgrounds, surrounded by Blue Ridge Road, Trinity Road, and Hillsborough Street. You will get the most stress-free experience if you take a rideshare service and get dropped off right in front of Gate 1. You can ride the Go Raleigh and Go Durham bus systems as well. Go Raleigh will have a North Raleigh location that will be released as we get closer for $5 round trip, and Go Durham will offer free service from their downtown bus station. Services will run about every 30 minutes. You can also ride the Amtrak train from a variety of locations. I wouldn't suggest this for those local unless you want the experience. This is a better option for those coming from places like Greensboro, Winston-Salem, and Charlotte, as there are just 2 to 3 very specific drop-off and pickup times throughout the day that you have to buy in advance, so you won't have time flexibility. Driving and parking is the most common option, but it can be a nightmare on the wrong day, time, and location. Handicap parking with a valid sticker is on the fairgrounds itself off Trinity Road, but the main parking areas surround Carter Finley Stadium and the Lenovo Center, and it's free. I would highly suggest accessing this lot off Edwards Mill and avoid Trinity and Blue Ridge Roads altogether. There are a variety of private lots within walking distance near the fair that you can drive around to if you're willing to pay $20 to $30. There are also remote lots that offer free park and ride options on the west side of the grounds called the Cardinal Lot, and further up Edwards Mill Road called the Dogwood Lot. These drop off near the gates with shuttle service that run every 15 to 20 minutes that start at 9 a.m. most days and run until 1 hour after the gate closes. I'll get more into suggestions here later on. Admissions to the fair can be seen on the screen, but are generally $13 for adults and $7 for children 6 to 12 years old. Kids 5 and under are free. You'll get a few dollars off of those tickets if you buy tickets online prior to October 16th. Note that to get into the fair, you will have to go through security and that there are 2 lines. One for those without bags or those who have brought a clear bag, and another slower line for those with regular bags that will require searching. You cannot bring any firearms or weapons of any kind. Pets are not allowed unless they're a service animal, and you can obviously bring anything needed to take care of young children, and that does include strollers as well. And surprisingly, you can bring food and drink in, which is a major help for those not wanting to pay $5 for water. Ride tickets can also be purchased in advance for discounted rates, but you have to purchase them prior to October 16th. Advance sales are $10 for 18 ride tickets, which goes to simply $1 per ticket on October 17th. And you'll typically find rides are in the 3 to 5 tickets per ride range. You can get unlimited ride wristbands for $40 each or $30 in advance, which includes everything but the State Fair Flyer and Skygazer. Tickets for those rides are $6 one way and $9 round trip for the State Fair Flyer and $6 for the State Fair Skygazer. Those prices go up by $1 if you don't purchase in advance. Also, there are a handful of other packages that couple ride packages with admission that give you pretty good deals, but only if you purchase tickets in advance. Note that if you purchase tickets in advance, you'll redeem them at the green ride redemption tents spread throughout. Now let's break down the map and the attractions. The main ride sections are shown here on the map, where the most aggressive rides have historically been here with the State Fair Flyer, giving you incredible views to check out the action. The State Fair Skygazer, the fair's largest Ferris wheel, is located off on its own by the Dorton Arena, and the kid ride section is also located near the Dorton Arena. Note that for kids, they have to be a minimum of 36 inches tall to ride. In the middle of the fair, you'll see the grandstand where there are a variety of shows like tractor pulls and monster trucks. But note there are very few offerings of those events, so make sure you look at the schedule. You can purchase tickets for any of these events right out front as they are not included in general admission. One of my favorite spots to look around is the Agri Supply and Expo Center, which has massive pumpkins and a variety of prized animals to enjoy. And just outside the building there is the mobile dairy classroom where you can learn how to milk a cow. If your kids want to pet animals though, the best spot is the children's barnyard, where you're allowed to get up close and pet a variety of farm animals. The Grand Building to the south is a large area for different animal competitions held throughout the week. But note that much of the area is many times blocked off for those directly involved in those competitions. The Dorton Arena is home to the Got to Be NC Pavilion, where local vendors show off and sell their homegrown products, which is a neat place to explore and take a break from the heat if it's hot. The NC Public House is also in here, where you can purchase a beer and wine ticket that allows 2 servings of wine, cider, or beer, which are from showcases of local breweries, wineries, and cideries. In this general area, you'll also find 2 really neat moving attractions in Rocket the Robot and the Strolling Piano, which make for a very entertaining stop. The waterfall outside the Dorton Arena is a good place to sit down and enjoy the view, and the music stage is right next to it, where live music and shows are regularly running. In the Education Building, you'll find more local vendor setups that are very similar to the Raleigh market held there. And the Scott Building to the north celebrates local artists, and just north of that is Andy Rott's Wild West Showdown, which I don't remember from last year, but those shows are always worth catching. The last spot to break down is on the west side of the grounds, and it's so underrated. It'll take you back in time, as the Pitzer Heritage Circle has a variety of entertainment and displays like blacksmiths at work, showing how things were done many years ago. And it also has some really good made-on-the-spot ice cream. The Village of Yesteryear is another great example of this, where there are many vendors that will do woodwork right in front of you. There's also displays of antique farm equipment that are neat to walk through and see how far we've come. And finally, there's the NC Forest Service area and the Flower and Garden Show, along with the Butterfly Barn, that are a great change of pace. You'll also see on the map a very good legend of where restrooms are, along with mother's rooms, wheelchair and stroller rentals, first aid stations, ticket booths, the Interfair tram ticket booths, and pickup areas. Now let's get into the insider tips, and some of these will absolutely save you. The first is an absolute game changer and will save you so much time. The fair has a food and ride finder, and while it can be a little bit harder to navigate on your phone, you'll find it very useful to save you from aimlessly walking around for those fried Oreos or that specific ride. You can type in what you're looking for, toggle if you want just keywords or an exact match, and it will return all the vendors that have that food and show exactly where it is. The same works for rides, and it's so unbelievably helpful. Next, where to go if you need a break from the crowds. I would highly recommend the Education Building or Scott Building, as they are not nearly as crowded as the rest of the fair. The Flower and Garden area is also another quieter part of the park. And when there aren't shows going on, the grandstand is an excellent spot to grab a seat under some shade and relax and eat your food. And the best bathrooms to go to are hands down those in the Scott Building, where it also has a mother's room and changing table. There's much lower traffic here overall. Now the most important tip, what are the best and worst days to go? Historically, the best days to go have been the first Thursday and Monday through Wednesday, with the first and last weekends being the worst. However, last year switched it up just a bit, as Tuesday was a pretty crowded day overall. Additionally, the Lenovo Center will have Billie Eilish in town on October 16th and 17th, NBA YoungBoy on Friday, October 24th, and Tate McRae on October 25th. So those nights will be a nightmare for traffic and parking at night. So with all that in mind for 2025, I highly suggest going early on the first Thursday and Friday and using the park and ride lots. And Monday and Wednesday, but at a minimum, I would absolutely stay away from Saturdays if at all possible. Tuesday would also be a fine day to go, but it will be interesting to see the attendance numbers this year to see if it's higher than average again. When it comes to parking, I highly suggest at least trying the Lenovo Center and Carter Finley lots first, unless you're going on a known crowded day. You can typically find a fairly decent spot in those lots for free. If you do the park and ride option, the Cardinal lot drops you off at the most convenient location, but can be a little bit more of a pain to get to if it's crowded around the fair. So I like the Dogwood lot if you need to go with the park and ride option. Note that if you do this, I would suggest entering the fair through Gate 8, as Gate 9 is a much longer walk than it appears on the map, and it's through parking lots. Gate 8 also has pretty low traffic, and it's quicker to get in. Here's my favorite hack. For those who just want to grab lunch at the fair without paying the admission, show up on the weekdays after 11:30 at either Gate 9 or Gate 1 and purchase purchase a $20 lunch card with cash. You now have free reign of the park to get your food, and as long as you return before 1:30 p.m. to the gate that you entered, you will get your $20 in cash back. Lastly, fireworks go off every night at 9:45 p.m. I highly suggest either leaving before the fireworks start and watching the fireworks from your car if you parked at the Lenovo Center, or committing and staying until close. The exiting traffic is the worst right after the fireworks. Another trick that people have reported is entering the fair later at night, right before the fireworks, and riding the rides while the fireworks are going on until close. And you'll find that the crowds really clear out. I hope this guide helped prepare you to have an amazing time. If you want to see a pure walkthrough video, check out our walkthrough from last year's fair.